Hello there. My name is Gretchen Spetz, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. Today, I want to talk to you all about why it is so important for you as a woman who's over 35 to really think seriously about your protein intake, and then 3 easy ways you can start increasing your protein intake today. Let's get started. First of all, why is it so important for you to be paying attention to getting enough protein? What we know is as we age, we do become more insulin resistant. There's lots of reasons for this. When we talk about women specifically, as we experience decreasing hormones, we do find that women are more predisposed to insulin resistance. We also know that across the board, 88% of Americans have some degree of metabolic dysfunction. There's lots of reasons for this. Including enough protein at your meals is an easy way to help optimize blood sugar. And this is how it works. Protein takes longer to digest in your digestive tract. And what it does is it slows down the digestion of everything else that you are eating. So, for example, if you have a big plate of pasta, that carbohydrate digests very quickly into sugar, and that sugar goes up very quickly into the bloodstream. This is something that can drive more insulin resistance. Versus if you had something like a half a cup of rice, some broccoli, and chicken, that chicken will help to slow down the digestion of the carbohydrate, the rice particularly, and there's a slower trickle of sugar out into the bloodstream, which really helps your body utilize that sugar as energy in your cells much better. We also want to think about protein when it comes to muscle mass. We are losing approximately 3% of our muscle mass every decade, starting with the decade in our 30s. During the years of 50 to 70, we actually lose 30%, up to 30% of our muscle mass. It doesn't have to be that way, but you need to do two things. You need to get adequate protein, and you also need to strength train. When we maintain or even gain muscle mass, that means we're actually able to burn more calories. Your muscles contain your metabolically active tissue, and this is the tissue that have the cells, that have the mitochondria, that are going to utilize that sugar for energy more than in other places of your body, and certainly more than fat cells. So, what are some easy ways that you can think about making sure that you get enough protein? Number one, I think it's really important to eat animal-based protein products. Let me tell you why. Leucine is an amino acid that we find in all proteins, but it is particularly concentrated in animal-based products. What we know about leucine is that we need a certain amount of leucine to stimulate what is called the muscle protein synthesis pathway so that your body can make more muscle. If we're focusing on plant-based sources of protein, like maybe quinoa or maybe chickpeas or something like that, we may not be able to get enough leucine. The 10 highest foods in leucine, 7 out of those 10 are animal-based proteins. The 2 highest, chicken and beef. So I think it's important to think about including these proteins on a daily basis. I will also give a shout out to 2 plant-based proteins, tofu and white beans. These are very high in leucine, but keep in mind, you have to eat a larger portion size that also has more carbohydrates. So you end up getting more calories when you're eating these sorts of plant-based protein foods as your main protein at a meal. So, number one, let's eat some meat. Number two, Weight Watchers was so wrong in telling us that we should be eating 3 ounces or a deck of card size amount of meat at a meal, meat, chicken, fish, etc. The easiest way that I can show you how to get enough protein is to look at the palm of your hand. You should be getting a size that is bigger than the palm of your hand. I actually like somewhere up to the first or even maybe a little bit larger in between the first and second knuckle here. That larger portion that's about 5 to 6 ounces is enough protein to stimulate that muscle protein synthesis, which we want to maintain or even gain muscle. So important. Next, we want to make sure we're eating breakfast. Intermittent fasting or skipping breakfast can sound very appealing, especially to busy women, But when we get in the habit of not eating breakfast, we are not getting enough protein throughout the day. It's also a stressor on the body as well. When you get adequate amounts of protein at breakfast, so somewhere between 30 and 50 grams of protein at that meal, you are setting yourself up for success when it comes to your blood sugar for the rest of the day. Your blood sugar is going to be much more even throughout the course of the day. You're going to be less hungry. You will experience less sugar cravings, and you'll just overall feel better. No more mood crashes, no more brain fog in the afternoon. This will also be something to help support you as far as getting a good night's rest at night. Finally, I love the idea of you staying away from what I like to call naked carbs, especially at snack time. So if you are having any snacks, don't just have an apple by itself. Certainly don't gravitate just towards the chips or the crackers. Make sure you're having something that has protein and fiber. I'll talk about fiber at another time. It is so, so important. But as we focus on protein here, some high protein options that can be really great for you are things like a jerky stick. I love the chopsticks myself. I also really like roasted fava beans or roasted chickpeas. That can be a great way to incorporate some different sorts of protein that you don't have at your meals. Why is this so, so important? Remember, as a recap, getting more protein is going to lead to balanced blood sugars. This is going to help you maintain or even gain muscle mass during periods of life where your body is predisposed to lose muscle mass. What does this mean for you? You're going to have less inflammation. You're going to be able to lose weight. This is going to be so supportive to weight loss and shifting your body composition towards having less fat and more muscle. You're going to feel more energized. You're going to sleep better. You're going to move better. You're going to have less brain fog. Your moods are going to be more stable. And those sugar cravings, they're not going to be at 10 p.m. and they're not going to feel so intense. I know you can do this. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you again soon.